Hey everyone! Welcome to the Labyrinth Lodge. I'm Liv, and today we are making pasta with fresh ricotta, tomato, and fried rosemary. Step 1, make a cocktail. I became pretty obsessed with wanting to make a cocktail out of whey after I did my ricotta making episode, and I thought about it for a while, asked some friends, didn't get a ton of information, didn't feel like I could come up with my own cocktail at this time. It was just such a foreign flavor for me. But I went on to our old friend Google to see what other people were up to, seeing if I was completely crazy or if this was actually a thing that someone was doing. And one of the first things that came up was from culturedcheesemag.com. I'll link it below. And it's basically a whiskey sour made with whey, and I thought I'd give it a try. I haven't made this yet. I do not know how it's going to turn out. You are going to see firsthand my true reaction to this cocktail, and let's just see how it goes. The recipe calls for 1.5 ounces of bourbon or rye, a few dashes of Angus jarred bitters, 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, an ounce of whey, and 3/4 of an ounce of maple simple syrup, which is made by combining 50-50 of hot water and maple syrup and mixing until it's dissolved. The shaker I'm using is called a Boston shaker. The little tip is that you can pull apart the 2 cups ever so slightly, enough for the cocktail to slip through without the ice getting in, and then you don't have to get a sieve dirty. Just gonna give this little lemon wheel for a garnish. It's pretty good. It tastes like a whiskey sour. It's a little bit sweet for me. The usual rule that I go by is half as much acid or lemon juice to whiskey and then half that of simple syrup. So it would be like 1.5 ounces of bourbon or rye, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, and then half an ounce of simple syrup. I think that would taste a little bit better. This is a bit sweet for me. You don't really taste the whey. It doesn't come through in a super strong way, but it's good. It's refreshing. I guess there's some bonus nutrients in there, and that's good enough for me. So cheers. So what you're gonna need for this recipe is some jarred or canned tomatoes. Not tomato sauce, not the one that's already seasoned, just regular diced or whole or strained tomatoes. Strained is easier because you don't have to do anything, but if you have diced or whole or crushed, you can stick them in the blender and puree them, and then we're good to go. Don't buy that pre-made tomato sauce. That's not what we're doing. We're making our own tomato sauce, okay? It's not gonna be hard. This is some ricotta. I've got a cup here. I'm not sure how much we're gonna use yet. I have an onion. It's pretty small. You could also use half of a medium or large onion, and probably 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. These are on the larger side, so I'm starting with 2, and we'll see. A bunch of rosemary. I picked it from my garden. Some chili flakes. These are optional, but I recommend it. Got a bay leaf, and I have some dried marjoram. We're just gonna use a pinch. If you don't have this, you can also use oregano. I just tend to like marjoram a little bit better. And pasta, of course. You can use whatever pasta you have on hand. If you have dried pasta, follow the directions for that. I feel like dried pasta always tells you to overcook it, and I like to pull mine a couple of minutes earlier, but I'll let you determine that for yourself. I made my own pasta today. we will have a fresh pasta tutorial coming soon. But for today, use whatever you have, and let's make this. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is take the skin off of our onion. I'm not cutting the end off because I want my onion to stay intact. I know that sounds weird, but we're gonna be steeping our onion in this tomato sauce. So we've got the flavoring parts, but we don't get a bunch of onion that we have to strain out. We're just gonna scoop it out. It's gonna be super easy. I'm gonna smash this garlic a little bit because it's gonna be the same thing. We're steeping the garlic in the sauce. Nothing difficult, nothing fancy. Super easy. All right, let's go to the step. We're gonna take our tomato. We're gonna pour it in a pot. I'm gonna swish a little bit of water around in here to get everything out and pour it in here as well. We're gonna take our onion and our garlic, I'm gonna stick them in the pot, and then we're gonna put our spices in. 1 bay leaf, you know, like a shake of chili flakes, just a little sprinkling of marjoram. Give it a good stir. I'm gonna add some salt. We'll start there. We'll let it cook for a while. My sauce is starting to simmer. I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of butter. Give that a stir. Make sure it melts into the sauce. Yep, butter and ricotta, all of the delicious things. And now we have a nice little simmer going. I'm gonna turn it down to low and we're gonna leave it. While our sauce simmers, we are gonna fry our rosemary. I have washed this because my rosemary lives on the street out front of my house. I wanna make sure that it's clean. If you are also washing your rosemary, just make sure it's really dry. The more moisture that's on the rosemary when you're frying it, the more you're gonna get splattering. But don't be scared, because fried herbs are amazing, and trying new things is fun. I have my cast iron, and we're gonna turn the heat to medium and let that heat up for a bit. Some high heat neutral oil that happens to be sunflower oil today, but you can use whatever you've got. I don't recommend using olive oil because it doesn't have a high smoke point. You just want to get about enough oil to kind of cover the pan. I have my slotted spoon ready. I have my paper towels to put the rosemary on after. I have my splatter screen. That's optional. I'm gonna do this in 2 batches. It's gonna make some scary sounds. You know it's ready to flip when it starts quieting down, and that means that all of the moisture has evaporated. Don't even know if this was really necessary for this project, but I just got it today, so I was excited. Round 2. That one looks done. These are a little bit overdone, but these look great. They didn't turn brown, but they're still crispy. Let's give it a taste. So it's been about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes since our sauce started. It's tasting good, so that's a good sign. I'm gonna get my water boiling for my pasta, and I decided that this was an excellent opportunity to use the remainder of my whey from when I made ricotta. But if you don't have whey, just use water. flick this on the high, let's talk about salting your pasta water. Before your water gets too hot, put some salt in it. Taste it. A little bit more. So you want it to taste like the ocean. That is how salty you want your pasta water. Otherwise, it's gonna taste very bland. Cool. With dinner, I'll be having this unoaked natural white Burgundy, which is of course the Chardonnay grape. But if I didn't have this open already, I would probably drink this Barbera. Barbera comes from the northwest region of Piemonte in Italy. Piemonte is usually known for the grape Nebbiolo, which they make into Barolo and Barbaresco, but people in Piemonte are not just drinking Barolo and Barbaresco all the time because those are more celebratory. They're also more like heavy meat friendly, not so good with tomato sauce. Barbera is arguably one of the best tomato sauce wines. It's medium bodied, it's juicy, it's got nice acidity, it's got a little bit of tannin for structure, and it's all around a really great wine. This came in at around $22 from the shop that I work at, but you could easily find something in the $15 range if you looked around a bit. Go to your local shop, ask them if they have some Barbera. But I think this is also a great learning opportunity that you can drink white wine with tomato sauce, which I feel like a lot of people don't think about doing very often. As long as you have something light and crisp and not overly oaky or buttery, I think you're good to go. Our water is pretty much at a boil, and I'm gonna go in and take my slotted spoon and scoop out the onion and garlic and bay leaf from our tomato sauce. You don't have to toss these out. You could easily throw them in a vegetable stock if you're making that. We've got our pasta water at a nice boil here. Remember, if you're using boxed pasta, follow your box's instructions, but maybe check in on it. Make sure that it's nice and al dente. You don't want to overcook your pasta. My pasta is fresh, so it's gonna cook really quickly. If you're using fresh pasta, it's probably only gonna take a minute or two. I'm gonna give that a stir to make sure that it doesn't stick to itself. And you'll notice that your pasta water gets really cloudy at this point, and that's all of the starch releasing into the pasta water. We are gonna spoon some of that water into our sauce, and that is gonna help our sauce adhere to the pasta in a really beautiful way. I'm gonna check on my pasta. We are ready. This is gonna come in our sauce. Mix that all in. It's looking really good. I am very excited to eat this. Give that a little bit of a wipe down. A few handfuls. And our fried rosemary. And a little bit of sea salt. It seems a little simple, right? It's tomato sauce, it's cheese, it's a classic combination. But the fried rosemary really elevates it, brings in new flavors, and gives it this nice crispy texture. So if you're afraid of frying herbs, I say just do it. Don't be scared. Of course, you don't have to make your own ricotta, but everything's better when you make it yourself, right? Hope you enjoyed this video and you enjoy making this dish or something kind of like it. Maybe trying frying herbs for the first time, maybe trying making your own ricotta for the first time. We're all about learning over here at the Leopard Lodge. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to stay tuned for new videos coming up, like our fresh pasta video that will be coming out soon. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.